Hello, and welcome to English Avenue Podcast.
Your cozy little place to learn easy English through real, everyday conversations. I'm Anna.
And I'm Jake, and today we have something a little different for you.
No serious topic today, no big life advice lecture, just a very normal travel story that somehow became more chaotic than we expected.
A normal day with a lot of small problems.
Exactly, because today we are talking about a day in London, and honestly, even now, when I think about it, I feel tired again.
Same. It was one of those days where nothing was truly terrible, but everything became slightly more difficult than it needed to be.
Nothing dramatic enough to ruin the day, but enough small problems to make us look at each other every 20 minutes like, really? Again?
And I think that is why the story feels so real. It was not a disaster. It was just one of those travel days where the train, the weather, the map, and our own confidence all decided to test us a little.
Especially your confidence with directions.
I knew that was coming.
It had to come. But yes, we had planned a simple London day. Take the train in the morning, walk around Westminster, see Big Ben, maybe pass the London Eye, find somewhere nice for lunch, and if we still had energy, go towards Covent Garden.
Which sounded very reasonable when we planned it.
Very reasonable.
And that was the first warning sign.
Plans always behave beautifully before you actually start following them.
This is a B2 level episode, so the English will be natural, a little richer, and useful for telling real stories about travel, delays, weather, confusion, and memories.
And today, as we tell the story, we will naturally introduce some useful word tour vocabulary.
These are the kinds of words that help you move beyond basic English and explain real moments with more detail, emotion, and confidence.
Yes, because when you know better words, your stories become stronger. You can describe the moment clearly, naturally, and impressively.
And when each word appears for the first time, we'll explain it inside the conversation so you can understand it while enjoying the story. Then, at the end, we'll do the full word tour again, with clear meanings and examples.
So stay with us, relax, and picture two people who thought they were prepared for a calm, easy day in London.
We were prepared on paper.
Only on paper.
Let's go back to the beginning.
The station.
Where our peaceful London day first started becoming not so peaceful.
And the funny thing is, we did not notice it at first. We were still in that confident morning mood, carrying our bags, checking the time, and acting like everything was completely under control.
Which is always dangerous.
Very dangerous, because the moment you say, "We're early, we're organized, this will be easy," life starts preparing a small lesson for you.
And our small lesson was waiting for us at the station.
Right, because before the station started testing us, everything still looked easy in our heads.
Very easy. Maybe too easy.
But Jake, we were being sensible. A little sightseeing, a little walking, something nice to eat, maybe one calm coffee somewhere, and then back home before we became too tired to speak politely.
That last part is important. There's a very real moment in every trip where people stop being friendly and start answering questions with just sounds.
Dangerous stage.
Very dangerous. But that morning, we were not there yet. We were fresh, optimistic, and slightly proud of ourselves.
We had checked the train time, saved the route, charged our phones, and I had even written down a few cafe options, which made me feel like a very responsible adult.
And I was standing beside you, enjoying the benefits of your responsible adulthood.
At least you admit it.
Of course, I bring emotional support and occasional wrong directions.
That is accurate, actually.
Thank you. I have a role.
And then, almost unexpectedly, the whole mood changed before we had even reached London.
Good word already. Unexpectedly means something happens in a surprising way, without warning, or not in the way you thought it would happen.
Yes, and we expected a smooth train ride. But unexpectedly, the station board became the most powerful person in our lives.
The station board had control. We were just standing there waiting for it to decide our future.
And it did not look kind.
The station was not completely chaotic when we arrived, but it had that tense morning energy where everyone is moving quickly, holding coffee, checking screens, and pretending they are not worried about time.
That is such a station feeling. Everyone looks calm from a distance, but when you look closer, every face says, "Please do not delay my train today."
And then, of course, our train was delayed.
Not canceled, just delayed, which is almost worse in a strange way because you cannot fully relax, but you also cannot make a new plan.
Right. You just keep staring at the board as if your eye contact will personally encourage the train to arrive.
I did that. I really did.
Same. We were both trying to negotiate with a screen.
Then came the platform change.
Ah, yes. The little sentence that makes a whole crowd move at once.
And suddenly there was this wave of commotion around us.
Commotion is a perfect word there. It means a lot of noise, movement, and confusion happening at the same time, usually because people are reacting to something.
One platform number changed, and suddenly everyone started walking quickly, dragging bags, turning around, checking phones, and trying to work out whether they were moving in the right direction.
We followed the crowd for a few seconds because it felt safe.
And then we realized the crowd also looked unsure.
That was not comforting.
Not at all. It is a very special kind of fear when you are following people who may also be lost.
Group confusion.
Very social, very unhelpful.
I would like to say I handled the platform change with quiet confidence.
You would like to say that.
Fine, I got a bit flustered.
A bit?
Let me keep some dignity.
Fine. Continue.
Flustered means nervous, confused, and unable to think clearly because things are happening quickly or because you feel under pressure.
And that was absolutely you. You check the ticket, then check the platform number, then check the ticket again, and somehow look suspicious of both.
Because suddenly I did not trust anything. Not the screen, not the announcement, not the ticket, not my own eyes.
The ticket had done nothing wrong.
Maybe, but in that moment, everything was a suspect.
You went into full detective mode.
I did. Not a successful detective, but a very committed one.
Meanwhile, I was doing quiet panic, which looks calmer from the outside, but is not actually calm.
Quiet panic is your travel brand.
Thank you. I have developed it over many years.
And to be fair, we did find the right platform eventually.
We did, but by the time we got there, I already felt like the day had taken a small bite out of our energy.
A small bite, yes. Nothing serious yet, but enough to make the plan feel slightly less shiny.
Yes, and I think that was the first moment our confidence became a little quieter. We were still excited, but the day had already reminded us that it might not follow our neat little schedule.
Eventually, we got on the train, found seats, and had that tired silence people have after unnecessary stress.
Not peaceful silence, more like, "Please do not ask me any questions until my brain returns."
That is the one. I looked out of the window and tried to convince myself that everything was still fine.
Which it was, technically. We were still going to London, we still had snacks, nobody had lost anything important.
Yet.
That yet feels personal.
It was not personal, it was realistic.
The train was crowded, but not unbearable. People were standing near the doors, someone had music leaking from their headphones, and there was one person eating crisps with the confidence of someone who did not care who could hear them.
That person was living freely.
Very freely.
And I remember thinking, okay, the plan is not dead, it's just slightly injured.
Slightly injured is the right description.
But by the time we reached London, I felt a little disoriented.
That is a useful word. Disoriented means confused about where you are, what is happening, or which direction you should go.
Exactly. I wasn't fully lost, but after the delay, the platform change, the crowd, and arriving later than planned, my brain needed a moment to catch up.
That is such a real travel feeling. You arrive somewhere exciting, but for the first few minutes, you are just standing there thinking, okay, what now?
And London stations do not exactly whisper calmly to you.
No, they throw signs, people, exits, escalators, announcements, and coffee smells at you all at once.
Beautiful city. Strong entrance.
Strong entrance, yes, but once we got out of the station, the excitement came back. Because even if you are tired, Linden still has that feeling. The buses, the buildings, the movement, the noise, it makes you feel like something is happening.
And we were still trying to rescue the original plan. We said, okay, we're late, but we can still go towards Westminster, see Big Ben, walk by the river, and maybe keep the rest flexible.
I remember saying, let's not rush, and then immediately walking faster.
That was very us. Emotionally calm, physically rushing.
We were trying to be relaxed in theory.
In theory, we were excellent.
And then we reached the Westminster area, and for a few minutes, it really did feel worth the effort.
Big Ben was right there, looking calm and historic like it had never missed a train in its life.
And we were standing there looking slightly tired, slightly proud, and slightly unsure where to stand without blocking someone's photo.
That is another London tourist skill, trying to enjoy the view while not accidentally walking into someone's selfie.
We could see the London Eye from a distance, too, and that made me feel like, okay, we're actually doing the London thing.
For about 5 minutes, we were successful tourists.
5 lovely minutes.
A short but meaningful career.
And then the weather changed.
Of course it did. It started with a few drops, and we both made the classic mistake of pretending it was not really raining.
We kept walking with so much optimism.
Dangerous optimism.
Very dangerous. At first I thought, it's fine, this will pass. And then the rain became heavier in that quiet, steady way that makes you realize it's not interested in your plans.
We were near Westminster, trying to enjoy the view, but also trying to protect our phones, our hair, and the tiny amount of dignity we had left.
The dignity was already weak.
Very weak. And within minutes, we were drenched.
Drenched means completely wet, soak through, not just a little wet from a few drops of rain.
My jacket was wet, my shoes were wet, and I could feel one sock slowly giving up.
One sock?
The left one. Very emotional moment.
I remember my hair doing something completely new. Not good, just new.
I looked at you and tried to say something positive, but even my optimism was wet.
Your optimism was wet?
Completely drenched.
We had no umbrella, no proper raincoat, and far too much confidence for 2 people standing in London rain.
Which brings us to an important travel lesson. Confidence is useful, but it is not waterproof.
That should be on a poster.
A very wet poster.
That was one of your better lines that day.
Pain brings poetry.
Apparently.
But honestly, that rain changed the whole mood. Not enough to ruin everything, but enough to make the original plan feel a little ridiculous.
Yes, suddenly walking slowly by the river sounded less charming and more like a punishment.
So we decided to move towards Covent Garden earlier than planned, partly because it had shops and covered places, and partly because we needed food before our personalities changed.
Hunger and rain together can make even kind people become difficult.
And that was when I looked at the map and said, I think there is a quicker way.
A sentence that should have worried me immediately.
I said, I think. That was honest.
You said it with the confidence of someone who did not think enough.
That is fair, actually.
And then we took what you called a detour.
Yes, a detour is a different route from the one you originally planned to take. Sometimes it is intentional, sometimes it happens because a road is closed, and sometimes it happens because someone reads the map with too much self-belief.
Someone.
A mysterious person.
We walked down one street, crossed over, checked the map again, turned back, and somehow ended up further from where we wanted to be.
But we did see a nice little side street.
Jake, we were wet and hungry.
Still a nice side street.
A nice side street with very poor timing.
I accept that.
I remember standing under the edge of a shop entrance, trying to wipe rain off my phone screen, while the map kept moving like it was also confused.
The map was having a difficult day, too.
No, the map was fine. We were the problem.
That is a little harsh.
but fair.
Unfortunately, yes.
I think that was the point when the original plan quietly disappeared.
Yes, it did not collapse dramatically, it just slowly walked away while we were trying to find somewhere dry.
We had planned Westminster, Big Ben, the river, the London Eye from a distance, Covent Garden, maybe a gallery, maybe a proper lunch.
And in reality, we were wet, hungry, and standing near a shop window discussing whether a packet of crisps could count as lunch.
It cannot.
In an emergency, maybe.
Not this emergency.
Fine.
So we improvised.
Good word. Improvised means you did something without a fixed plan. You made decisions in the moment based on what was happening.
We stopped trying to force the perfect schedule and started asking a much more useful question. What would make this day better right now?
And that question helped immediately, because instead of feeling like the day was failing, it started to feel like the day was simply changing.
It was less, oh no, the plan is ruined, and more, okay, what can we do with the day we actually have?
Which is probably a better travel skill than reading a map.
For you, definitely.
I walked into that one.
You did.
Then we saw a small cafe on a side street.
It was not famous, not especially beautiful from the outside, and definitely not one of the places I had saved.
But it had warm lights, a few empty chairs, and the powerful promise of sitting down.
At that moment, sitting down felt like luxury.
So I said, let's just go in.
Which was an impulsive decision.
Impulsive means sudden, without thinking about it for a long time or planning it carefully.
Normally, when you make impulsive decisions during travel, I become suspicious.
Reasonable.
But this one was good.
It saved us.
We went inside, ordered coffee and something warm to eat, and for the first time that day, we stopped trying to win against London.
We accepted defeat with coffee.
The best kind of defeat.
I remember sitting there with wet sleeves, watching people walk past with umbrellas, and thinking, this was not the cafe we planned, but it is exactly the cafe we needed.
That is actually sweet.
I know. I become wise when I'm dry.
You were not fully dry.
Half wise, then.
That sounds right.
After the cafe, the rain slowed down, and we decided to walk again, but without trying to complete the whole original plan.
That was important. We stopped chasing the perfect London day and just allowed the day to become whatever it was becoming.
We walked towards Covent Garden slowly, and somewhere along the way we found a small bookshop.
Not a famous one, just a small bookshop with warm light, narrow shelves, and that quiet feeling that makes people automatically lower their voices.
I liked it immediately. It felt like the opposite of the station.
The station had noise, movement, and pressure. The bookshop had calm shelves and people pretending they were only browsing, even though everyone knows books are dangerous.
Very dangerous. You walk in for 5 minutes and leave with 3 books and a new personality.
I picked up a book, stood near the window, and remember thinking, okay, this day is not ruined. It is just not the day we planned.
That was the shift.
We were not doing the polished London day anymore. We were doing our version of London.
And after the bookshop, the city looked different.
The rain had slowed, the pavement was shining, and the lights from the shops looked softer than before.
There was music somewhere nearby, too. Probably a street musician, but we never found exactly where it was coming from.
That made it nicer, actually. It felt like the city had background music for a few minutes.
That little part was remarkable.
Remarkable means special, unusual, or worth noticing because it stands out in your memory.
And it was not remarkable because it was perfect. It was remarkable because after all those small problems, that quiet walk felt surprisingly good.
Big Ben was beautiful, of course, and seeing the London Eye from a distance was lovely, but that small walk after the rain is what I remember most.
Same. Maybe because we had stopped trying so hard by then.
We stopped measuring the day against the plan.
That is a very grown-up sentence.
Thank you. I found it somewhere between wet shoes and coffee.
Honestly, that moment felt like London saying, "See, I'm still nice. I just wanted to make you work for it."
That sounds like London.
It really does. So after all that, would you say the day was worth it?
Completely worthwhile.
Worthwhile means worth the time, effort, or difficulty, even if the experience was not easy from beginning to end.
And that day definitely had difficulty. The delayed train, the platform change, the rain, the wrong turn, the wet shoes, the hunger, the map confusion.
But it was worthwhile because we got more than a normal sightseeing day. We got a story, a few good laughs, a quiet bookshop, and a version of London that felt personal.
At the time, small problems feel annoying, but later they become the parts you tell people about.
Nobody wants to hear, "We followed the plan perfectly and everything was fine."
They want the wet shoes.
They want the wrong turn.
They want the cafe you chose because you were tired and slightly defeated.
So yes, I would not repeat every part of that day, but I would keep the memory.
Same. I would bring better shoes, though.
And an umbrella.
And maybe not let you lead the shortcut.
That feels unnecessary, but I understand.
By the time we headed back to the station, we were tired, but it was a different kind of tired.
Not angry tired, more like we survived the day and now we are ready to sit quietly on a train and look out of the window tired.
That is a very specific feeling, and I know exactly what you mean.
The train home was calmer, thankfully.
Mostly.
Mostly. There was one person having a loud phone call, but by that point, it did not even bother me properly.
That is when you know the day has changed you.
Earlier in the day, I might have been annoyed, but by then I just thought, of course, one final sound effect.
We looked at each other and smiled because it felt like the day was adding one last detail before ending.
A very ordinary closing scene.
And maybe that is why I liked the day in the end. It was not polished, it was not smooth, and it was not the London day we imagined.
But it felt real.
Very real.
A delayed train, wet shoes, wrong directions, warm coffee, a small bookshop, and a tired train ride home.
Honestly, that sounds like a proper day in London.
It does. A little messy, a little funny, and somehow still lovely.
Perfect.
And next time we're checking the weather properly.
We say that every time.
And every time we believe ourselves.
That is the real comedy. All right, let's slow things down and take a closer look at the words from today's London story.
These are really useful words because you can use them not only for travel, but also for stressful days, work problems, funny mistakes, and unexpected memories.
Let's start with the word that describes that confused feeling when everything suddenly changes. All right, let's begin with disoriented.
Yes, disoriented means feeling confused or unsure because you do not fully understand where you are, what is happening, or which direction you should go.
Right, you can say, I felt disoriented when I came out of the station and could not find the right exit.
Good one. Or, after the train delay and platform change, she felt disoriented for a few minutes.
So, disoriented is that confused, unclear feeling when your mind needs a moment to understand the situation around you.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Disoriented.
Disoriented.
Okay, now let's look at unexpectedly.
Yes. Unexpectedly means something happens in a surprising way, without warning, or not in the way you thought it would happen.
Right. You can say, the train was unexpectedly delayed.
Or, the day turned out unexpectedly beautiful, even though it started badly.
So, unexpectedly means something happens in a way that surprises you.
Good. Let's repeat it. Unexpectedly.
Now we have flustered.
Yes. Flustered means feeling nervous, confused, and unable to think clearly because too much is happening at once.
Right. You can say, I got flustered when the platform changed suddenly.
Or, she felt flustered when 3 people asked her questions at the same time.
So, flustered is that nervous, messy feeling when your brain cannot organize itself properly.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Flustered.
Good. Now we need commotion.
Yes, commotion means a noisy, busy, and confusing situation where people are moving, reacting, or trying to understand what is happening.
Right. You can say, there was a lot of commotion at the station after the announcement.
Or we heard a commotion outside the cafe and turned to see what had happened.
So commotion means noise, movement, and confusion happening together.
Great. Let's repeat it. Commotion.
Commotion.
Okay, let's move to drenched.
Yes, drenched means completely wet, usually because of heavy rain or water.
Right, you can say, we got drenched because we forgot to bring an umbrella.
Or, he came home drenched after walking through the storm.
So drenched means soaked, not just a little wet.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Drenched.
Drenched.
Now let's take detour.
Yes, a detour is a different route from the one you plan to take, either by choice or because something changed.
Right, you can say, we took a detour through a quiet side street.
Or the road was closed, so we had to take a detour.
So detour means a different route, planned or unplanned.
Good. Let's repeat it. Detour.
Detour.
All right, now we have improvised.
Yes, improvised means you did something without a fixed plan and made decisions in the moment.
Right, you can say, we improvised after the rain changed our plan.
Or, she forgot her notes, so she improvised her speech.
So improvised means you found a way forward without preparing everything first.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Improvised.
Improvised.
Good. Let's look at impulsive.
Yes, impulsive means doing something suddenly without thinking about it for a long time or planning it carefully.
Right, you can say, it was an impulsive decision to enter the cafe.
Or he made an impulsive choice and booked a weekend trip.
So impulsive means sudden and not carefully planned.
Great, let's repeat it. Impulsive.
Impulsive.
Now let's look at remarkable.
Yes, remarkable means special, unusual, or worth noticing because it stands out in your memory.
Right, you can say, the view from the bridge was remarkable.
Or, it was a remarkable day because everything went wrong, but it still became a beautiful memory.
So, remarkable means something is special enough to remember.
Nice. Let's repeat it. Remarkable.
Remarkable.
Finally, we have worthwhile.
Yes, worthwhile means worth the time, effort, or difficulty because the result or experience is valuable.
Right, you can say, the journey was tiring, but the view made it worthwhile.
Or, learning English takes time, but every small improvement makes it worthwhile.
So, worthwhile means valuable enough to be worth the effort.
Perfect. Let's repeat it. Worthwhile.
Worthwhile. And those were today's Word Tour words, 10 brilliant words from one very chaotic London day.
We had unexpected problems, station commotion, flustered moments, heavy rain, a detour, an impulsive cafe stop, a quiet bookshop, and somehow a remarkable memory.
And a completely worthwhile one.
So, if you have ever had a trip that went wrong, tell us in the comments. Did you miss a train, take the wrong route, get caught in the rain, or make an impulsive decision that somehow saved the day?
And try to use one of today's words in your comment if you can.
For example, I felt flustered at the station.
Or, our detour became the best part of the trip.
Lovely. If this episode helped your English or made you smile, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who is learning English too.
Take care of your English.
And take care of your heart. This is Anna.
And this is Jake.
And you've been listening to the English Leap Podcast. Bye!
Your progress doesn't end here. To continue advancing your English skills, click on the next video or explore the additional videos we've thoughtfully selected for you.